Y'all, it's Kat with KatsSouthernCharms. We're live. Let me know when you get here. I want to adjust everything. Perfect. Putting on my gloves. Happy Friday. Let me know when you come and chat. Say hi when you get here. All right. We're not doing that one. Not that. Let's create one. There we go. Okay, so there we go. We are in. We are live. Let our group know that we're here live. Bear with me, y'all. Trying to get it all set up. But it's not as bad as last time. Things look much smoother this time. If you remember. Y'all know that song? Alright, copy the link. Let's go to my chat. Here we go. Let me get this out to everybody real quick. All right. I am live. Now, boy, have y'all tried typing with gloves on? All right. Everybody is informed. Got that. Got that. Go back to comments. Very good. All right. Y'all, today we're using the Let's Resin Black resin for this. Let me move these bottles out of the way. Part A is our black. I know it's kind of lagging right now. Give it a few minutes. It should warm up. I hope it warms up. Let me get my cups. Because we're going to mix up our black. And then I'm going to mix up some regular resin so we can do our colors. Remember I said we're going to use paste. We're using white and red to go with our black. But let's move all my tools. And if y'all look at the description, I link everything that I'm using today in the description. So let me turn that on. Put a cup here. And zero that out. My scale, you see I'm using the scale. My scale is set to fluid ounces, which is the same thing as volume. So that's why I use this. let me grab a stick. So A is black. And I'm going to do a little over 6 ounces. So that's our black. And now we're going to pour part B, which is our clear. All right. 6.6 is my goal. All right, we're there. Just wipe that off. And I like to wipe my lids off, the top of my bottle. So when I put the lid on, my lid's not sticking next time I want to use this. Okay, so we have that mix. And you see how it's clear with black at the bottom? Can you see that? Kind of looks like an oil spill with oils at the bottom. See that? All right, so I'm going to move this over here. And you can see what I'm trying when I'm combining it. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. And I want to pour my clear. I want to zero that out. I'm only going to pour let's do 4 ounces, 2 and 2. Come on, you can get there. You can do it. Fine. 2. All right, there's our 2 for that. And now we're going to pour part B. So I wipe all this down because I don't want it sticking to my lid. When you come in, let me know. Give me a hi or a howdy and tell me where you're coming from. Oh, do y'all have any big plans for Mother's Day this weekend? Happy Mother's Day to all of my fellow moms. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Mother's Day is this weekend, right? Am I wrong? All right. Wipe our lid and bottle off. Put this lid back on. Now, let's get a handy dandy stick to mix this up. And I'm going to separate this out 2 and 2 so I can mix my paste in when I'm ready for that. But right now, I just want to get my resin mixed up and let it sit for a minute. And while the resin is sitting, I'm going to talk to you guys about this technique and how it works. Oh, good. And you notice that I'm working with a canvas. I'm not working with the mold. You know what that means? I get to use my torch to pop bubbles, which is great. And adding heat. Do you see the selling on this? I'm using a canvas that's old. Do you see the cells on this? Using the torch and this white pigment paste brings those cells, because color, eye candy adds an additive to their paste, or their white paste anyway, that brings selling through heat. So you use your heat gun, you use fire, you can activate selling. And by selling, I mean like lacing, opening up cells in your colors to give that lacing look. That's what I love. I think it adds more depth, more character to your pieces. All right. This resin's a little cold. It's not that cold today, so I'm not shocked. All right. This is all combined and mixed. You see all the bubbles in this. Wipe my stick because I tell y'all, make sure you wipe your sides down, the bottom of your cup, and your stick when you're mixing it. Do not set timers to stir your resin because that can be misleading. Timer goes off and you think you're good, but actually you still have streaking or parts that aren't completely combined. Been seeing that a lot lately. So your resin, while this has a lot of bubbles, it will clear itself out. I'm not worried about that. But it doesn't have that jellyfish little streaking going on. It's all combined, and there are a lot of bubbles in there. Crazy today. But like I said, we're using our torch, so I'm not too worried about that. And now we're mixing this black. And people have asked me, how do you know if it's combined? To be perfectly honest, it is a feel for me. I have mixed so much resin, I can't really explain it, that I know when my hardener is not giving me that resistance anymore, right? You feel it all combined. It's easy to stir it. Scrape your sides. Scrape your stick. And that's another clue. When you pull, you dip your stick, there should be no clear areas like there's separation between your color. There's no clear area that's separated, right? So when I'm stirring this, you're now to stir. Before, I had a little give in it because it wasn't combined completely. Now it's much easier to move around. That's what I mean when I say I go by feel. When it's easier to move this and I'm not fighting resistance in the resin, that tells me it's all combined. It's all one. They're married and they're happy because they don't have kids yet. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Kids are wonderful. Anyway, so like I said, wipe your stick off and you can do like an oil dip test. Dip your stick in there. Do you see any clear areas? No clear areas. Everything is combined. Give it a little more just to be sure that everything is combined. I'm going to stir a little more. I don't see y'all. Are y'all just not showing on the stream? Let me open my other one. Oh, let's see here. Let me see here. Nope. I do. I'm going to do this for 3 hours. I'm setting a goal, y'all. I really want to get in any super chat, anything like that, any color, whatever you want to do. I really want to question. Any question. Oh, goodness. An error occurred. Why? Y'all. All the colors. 3 hours. Wow, it's not letting me. All right. Okay, then we just won't have a goal. I'll tell y'all. right, so it's being difficult again. Yay, I see someone is here now. Hey, buddy. You're just in time. You're not late. I was late, actually. We are mixing our pre-colored Let's Resin black resin. It's fully combined. And I gave a sample as to how to know when these pre-colored resins are completely done and mixed together. And you can do it with just a dipstick. You dip your stick in and you see no clear resin separated from the color. So that tells me everything is ready. Okay. And for this, ooh, I did not prop. I'm going to show y'all another cheat. Let me get my little bathroom cups out. I should have had all this set up. My bad. I didn't. What I'm going to do is I have this canvas and I'm going to set it so it's propped up. Like so. I'm going to set this on it so it's up off my table so it can drip over the side. And shame on me, I don't have my level, but I think we're good. So I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to know when I start pouring this resin. I want this up in the corner. All right, we're good. Everything looks good. All right. So, well, before I pour this on there, I want to mix my regular resin and get it separated out and colored before we do that. I wanted to have all of this mixed up and measured out beforehand, but, you know, life happens sometimes. All right. This is good. I'll set this to the side. Let me get my... And I'm going to pre-measure 2 and 2 my colors. Clear it out. Now I'm going to put 2 ounces in here. Actually, I'm going to do a little less than 2 in that one. And a little more than 2 in this one because I want more white than red. I'm just going to dump all this in. There we go. All right. We'll set this to the side. Get it out of the way. I don't want it to spill over there. I'll set it down further on the table. All right. So we're going to do white and red. I need some sticks. Here we go. 1 for white, 1 for red. Let's do our white. And remember, every time we use our paste, we stir it to make sure it's all combined. Right? All right. Whoop. So, I'm going to put that in there. Close my lid back because I don't want paste everywhere. Set that to the side. And again, I have all of this linked in the description. All right, now we're doing our red. Remember, this doesn't take hardly anything at all to color this resin, y'all. That's why I love pigment paste. You really get your money's worth. You saw how little I put on that? And now I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to mix my white because I want this to be ready to go when I pour my black because it needs to interact with a black base. And something I didn't do, I will be doing, is putting down a puppy pad. Y'all heard me talk about puppy pads before. They're great to protect your tables, your floor, because you don't want resin on your carpet, rug, hardwoods, whatever you have. You don't want resin on that. So we're doing an over pour for this piece, and it's going to be running off my canvas. And I don't want it running over the edge of my mat here, falling onto a rug that I have under my table. So I protect that, laying down a puppy pad. And I will put it cotton side up on the floor and plastic side up on. See how quickly all that incorporates. See that? Isn't that amazing? How fast it all mixes together. It makes that beautiful solid color. This is why I love paste. Plus, I found that when I use paste, I have far less bubbles. Because remember, I want to put that chart. Well, I can't put it in live. But y'all remember me talking about how pastes are heavy, right? They sink like a brick. And that helps keep bubbles down. Helps pop them because it's heavy. The weight pops the bubble. So that is one of the main reasons. Well, another reason I love paste, because I don't have to deal with as many bubbles. But it incorporates so fast, so easy. Don't have to worry about clumps or mica. And it takes very little to get a nice solid color. All right, so I'm going to set these to the side so they're out of my way. Get all of this out of the way that I don't want the color on. All right, so we have our red, we have our white. And now, before we do this, because when I do it, it's something that we're going to have to. See if that scared you. That was my scale falling over. I have two puppy pads. Okay. One, I'm putting cotton side up to catch if any resin falls off my table. It's going to land on the cotton. The cotton will absorb it, not let it seep through the bottom, and contain it. Or if I put plastic side up, it's going to run off the plastic. So that is one pro tip for you today, because I love incorporating pro tips for you guys. All right, so that's down. And now under my canvas, I'm going to put plastic side up. And I'll tell you why. Because I like catching whatever. Let's do these real quick. Plastic side down. There we go. Get my handy dandy cups back. There we go. Set our cups up and put our canvas back. All right. Ta-da. Let me pull this forward. I want to make sure that there. That's better. Now you can see, and you can also see my camera or my phone, actually. Okay. So now we're all set. We have that done. So I have my protection over my pad. So let's pour our black first. We're going to cover the whole canvas. Okay. So I'm just covering this all up because I want a totally black background, right? I'm going to put all this down. I'm going to move it to the edges. So we want it all incorporated in this, covered. So now you can't see what the underpainting is, right? If you wanted to see your underpainting, you could do this in clear and have your underpainting or whatever you had on your canvas before show through with new resin over it. That could be an idea if you had some other plans or something you wanted to do. But now, okay, so we have the black down. Remember I said we're using a canvas, not a mold, so we can use our flame and our torch to pop any bubbles. But also remember what I told you, you don't want to use too much heat because heat thins your resin out, will make it flow off your canvas much faster, and you don't want that. I see we have a little floaty here. Get that. I missed. Get it out of there. I think I got it. We'll see. But we're going to use this trowel to move colors. And we're also going to use, where did I put it? Ooh, there it is. Wax paper to drag color through. And I pour a little piece off, and I'll show you how we're going to use that. But first, let's get some color down, right? Down the middle. I want to pour my white. I'm going to start off my canvas, and I'm going to pour a line this way, and I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to pour a thinner line of red, and I'm going to stop. Now I want to show you using this trowel, which has teeth in it, what happens. I'm going to put it straight down and slowly move it. So it's in all the colors. There you go. That is one example. You see how it's reacting here. Okay. Let's set this aside. Now, I'm just ripping a piece of wax paper. Not a big piece. It doesn't have to be big at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of my colors are incorporated, and I'm slowly going to drag, just like so, across the canvas. You see how it picks that up? And you see we have some selling already starting. Now look what happens when I add heat to this. I want you to see how fast the selling starts with the white. Do you see the cells start popping up? Isn't that gorgeous, y'all? I love this so much. I can't believe I realized I had never shown y'all this before. Let's do another. And we're going to do it slower, like so, because I really want those techniques. And let's get another piece of wax paper. And this time, we're going to make sure we have red. And we're slowly going to drag. Like so. And I have my handy dandy trash right here. So I'm throwing these wax papers right in that. And we're going to do it again. And I really want to drag this through there and out. Y'all see? How beautiful is that? Is that fun? Yes. I don't do a lot of paint pouring. That's never been my thing. I don't know. Maybe they've done this. I'm not real sure, but you can tell me because I don't have experience with that. But what I want to do is I want to do another layer. So I'm going to take some more white and I'm going to pour it along the center. And y'all, this color's trying to run off. So I'm going to prop this up. It's not onto the floor. Even though I have a pug pad there, I still want to try to prevent that. All right, so we add some white. I'm going to add another layer of red. And we're going to do some more. Like so. And you could even use a hair comb If you have a hair comb laying around, I'm just going to wipe this trowel down. Trowel. Goodness gracious alive, y'all. Now, I want to do some on this side. Like so. Wipe it off. Go that way. Okay. So you see what I'm talking about here? We're making like some ribbing or some little baby waves. And I'm fixing to show you how to elevate it. You can lift and stretch. Let it flip. And you can take your heat and thin it out some, and it will make it run faster. Okay? So that's another way. You can tilt it, stretch your lines out, however you want to do it. You can add more through there. We can add lines like so. We're just going to dress this up. We want to. Right? And now we're going to tilt that and let those lines stretch and flow. Tilt it back. And maybe to the side. Flow. All right. Oh. Did we get it? All right. So y'all see all the little reaction. There's so many possibilities with this. We change gloves. Yes, I'm in gloves because those are covered. And I have a box of gloves. Handy. But isn't this pretty, y'all? I really love doing these things. And I love just letting resin do its own thing. It's beautiful what resin creates on its own. Love it, love it, love it. And yes, you can blow it with a blow dryer. Unfortunately, I don't have an outlet close to where I'm working, which is bad. But you could use a heat gun and add more movement and activate more selling from your white. You're absolutely right. It would be beautiful to do that, y'all. I think I know how to put a glove on, but I'm having technical difficulties today. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Are we there? Are we close enough there? Y'all, is Mother's Day Sunday? Am I tripping? Or is it another week away? I don't remember if it's this week or... Y'all, I'm losing it. For reals. For reals, I'm losing it. I wanted to show y'all another technique while I'm here. And it's called a smush. I'm trying to see where y'all can see really good. Let me move this here. There, you can see the side. Okay, you can see where this is poured off. And I'm just going to drizzle some white and a little red in there with that black. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, that's cured near me. Oh, perfect. I have some colors that are already cured. And actually, they're black. That's perfect. So, just going to wipe them down. Now, I'm going to do a smush, and I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm going to dip this in resin that's fallen off my canvas. Okay? I'm going to smush it down. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to lift it up. So, you can't really see the red or white. So, I'm just going to drizzle some on there. And then I'm going to tilt it, and I'm going to heat it up. See how it really flows once it's heated? It's really moving. So, I'm going to tilt it back, and we're going to let the resin just do its thing, make its own design. So this is a way that you can make, look at that, y'all. Isn't that beautiful? It turned out so good. This is a way that you can make something extra with your leftovers. I need a cup. Here we go. Move this black out of my way. Ooh, set this cup here. I'm going to set that there to dry. And I'm going to do another one, but this time I really want to make sure I have those colors really incorporated on my coaster. So, again, we're going straight down. I'm going to smush it and lift. And there we go. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So, I'm going to heat it up again, and I'm going to let it run and stretch itself out. See that? And I don't have my heat gun, but I can use my mouth. Oop, missed. Sticking to my glove. There you go. Add some lines and just glue that around. See that? And now I'm just going to heat it, bust some bubbles, and I'm going to let it run and stretch. There we go. I'm going to let it stretch out and do its own thing. There it goes. It's running. Ooh, trying to get it where y'all can see it. There you go. All right. I'm going to scoop some of this up. Add a little more to the edge. Scoop some of that. There we go. So I just added a little more there from my sides. And I need another cup. Move this out of the way. And that's it, y'all. We're going to set this. We're going to let it. I'm taking these gloves off because I just made a total mess. But I'm done. Ta-da! That's it. We're going to let this sit, do its own thing, let it react to move around. And yes, I see this right here. There, I got it that time. It's gone. We're going to let this cure. And look, cells are getting bigger. Can you see that on canvas? These cells are really starting to bloom out, which is what we want. So I'm going to pop bubbles on this and just give this a once over. I don't want to thin it too much. But that's how you do a swipe technique, y'all. I hope this was easy and gives you ideas. Like I said, if you just have an old comb, you can get from Dollar General, you can get from Walmart for like 97 cents, $1. Use a plastic comb to make designs through whatever you want to do. And like you said, beautiful to use a heat gun to move and make waves. But I love pieces that just let resin do its thing. It has a mind of its own. Let it do its thing. It's beautiful. I think those are the most beautiful pieces, in my opinion. But I love abstract art, so I'm kind of biased with that one. But y'all, I hope you learned something from this, and I hope it gives you the courage to try different things. You saw this was an old canvas that I just practiced a technique on that I wasn't real happy with. So I can use it again to practice new techniques or show you guys a new technique and new ways to do things. But y'all, that's it for Friends for Friday. I kept it under an hour. I'm excited about that. And if it is Mother's Day this weekend, I wish all of you a happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and friends. And if this is your first one without your mom, I feel you. It's hard. It's not my first one. I've had too many. But let's just remember those people, that there are people who are missing their mom. And I'm going to get emotional again. Sorry. You never know when grief is going to slap you. But my mom and my grief is what brought me here. Brought me to you guys. Brought me doing art again to help deal with grief and the emotion. And I know my mom would be really proud. Sorry, y'all. I tell you, grief really sneaks up and slaps you when you least expect it. But I hope you guys learned something, and I hope that you too are finding relief from grief through your art. And I hope that I help you take that next step easier. Take a risk, take a chance. Let your art speak for you, because you never know what you might create. Anyway, I'm sorry I got emotional. Gets me every time. I love my mom, and I miss her. Especially this time of year. So, I'm sorry. Oof. I really do drink now. Okay, I'm sorry. I really don't mean to get emotional. But y'all be sure to give this a thumbs up. Make sure you've done all the YouTube things. Hey Olivia. Hey Christine. I'm glad y'all made it. Make sure you go back and watch this from the beginning so you get the step-by-step how to create this for yourself. And really and honestly, it's so easy, and the tools you use to do this are so easy. Simply using wax paper, a trowel. Well, it's kind of stuck because I let it sit on there. A trowel, like so, that has teeth on it. Or you can just use a regular comb that you can get super cheap and just drag it through your piece. And for your sewing, make sure that you get the eye candy. The Satori white is what I use, and that's what's creating these cells. It has an additive added into it. This is Satori. I have a link in the description. Y'all can go right there and get some for yourself. Remember, put in the code when you check out. KatsSouthernCharms, all one word, no spaces, and you'll get 15% off your order too. So I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm super excited to see how this changes over the next 24 hours, because we know resin dances and does its own thing. But y'all, if you want to help out, I have links in there. Make sure you become a channel member. Just click join. And it takes you to like a monthly subscription fee. I'm going to start doing special things for our members where they're going to get extra chances and drawings, because I have giveaways coming up that I'm super excited to share with you guys. They're soon, if not May, definitely by June. I've got some things up my sleeve I'm working on. Anyway, guys, this is it for this live. Like I said, make sure you do all the YouTube things. If you want to buy me a coffee, buy me some wine after this one. There's links in the comments or in the description. You just click it, and you can do that if you want to. Never have to, but it's much appreciated if you do. Anyway, guys, I love you. If it is Mother's Day weekend, which I think is, I hope you have a wonderful weekend with your family and your kids and your friends. And I'll be praying for those who are missing their mom this weekend. Until next time, y'all, happy arting. I'll talk for now.